Greetings, Meatheads, and welcome to the Meat Cobain Gaming channel. For this video, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. This is not going to be a continuation of the Let's Play, but rather, Meat would like to speak on the hashtag Goonergate controversy that is surrounding this game. And I do apologize, my voice is still very much shot, but I'll use what is left of it to give you my thoughts on Goonergate, because I thought, you know what, I think my audience wants to know how Meat feels, given that this game is my featured game for the commentary, especially this month. So, my thoughts on Goonergate. Personally, I do not really empathize with Gooners or Coomers at all. I don't even consume that kind of content, like, at all. It's been very long since I have. So I am probably the least person to be sympathetic to the Gooners. However, do the Gooners have a case or an issue or something that is a legit concern? I would say this, because regardless of what was censored and how trivial it is, you know, the developers kind of put themselves in a bit of a bind because, especially with the tweet they made a while back saying, you know, this game will be uncensored in all areas, including Japan. And they put that out and say, boom, here it is, unadulterated. And, you know, by the time the game was released, there was a little bit of changes made. So therefore, people got upset. The changes are trivial. Honestly, it doesn't make a difference at all because this game is amazing. The gameplay is so fun. But yeah, it was made nonetheless. And, you know, the Gooners are upset. And I guess I can see their case a little bit because it was kind of advertised as, oh, we're doing whatever we want. And then it's like, I actually had to make that little change. Okay, so with that said, let's dive into why the change was made. I know the developers come out and said, you know, this was just our vision. We wanted to make these alterations. And it's pretty clear that there was probably some outside pressure. You know, I can't say that they're lying. I don't know that. But there's probably outside pressure. Sony probably stepped in and said, hey, you know, we'd really like to advertise your game in this way or sell it in these venues, but if you leave this in, especially, you know, because I don't mean to be crude here, but there was this outfit where you could kind of see the contours of a certain part of Eve's body very well, which could be, you know, especially in, I don't know, Korea, I would assume it's the same, but in Japan, you can't really show that kind of stuff at all. It's heavily censored. So I imagine there's some outside pressure, and I imagine that the developers really want this game, their first entry, to do well, not just in Korea, but in Japan and overseas. And so I imagine, like, okay, you know what, let's just take that out real quick. You know, so it's a business decision. I assume. I'm theorizing here. I don't have confirmation, but I don't think it'd be too big a stretch of the imagination to assume that that's what happened. And they made the change and have sparked Goonergate. Which is just unfortunate because, you know, it's such a trivial thing, and if people are really going to boycott this game over it, and this, like, really cool combat experience, and so far, you know, I'm still early on into it, but yeah, atmosphere is good, music is just amazing, and if folks are going to let Goonergate overshadow this experience, or, like, stop them from experiencing this, like, look at that parry, like, look at that, guys. It's just a damn shame, really. But, you know, some of that does fall on the developers pushing that narrative that, hey, it's going to be uncensored, uncut, blah, 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 blah. And then they had to make that change. The whoopsie doodle. I got to make that change, guys. So that's that. Lastly, what I saw the Gooners complaining about is that, well, you know, Sony let Baldur's Gate 3 have all this degenerate stuff and Last of Us 2. And yeah, I agree, that is hypocrisy. But what I would like to remind the Gooners, and a lot of people in the West that might forget this, it's probably a lot easier for Sony, as a Japanese company, to stand up to a Korean developer than it is to say no to a Western developer, especially an American one. And I'm not going to get into history, but for those who know a little bit of history, I think you could probably know why that is. So, with that said, yes, there's a hypocrisy there that Baldur's Gate 3 can have all this nasty, degenerate stuff going in there, and this game can't. I would maybe put the argument, I don't know if Baldur's Gate 3 has lower body nudity. I don't think it does. Whereas this could be construed as that. In Stellar's Blade, I should say. The outfit could be construed as that, especially in Japan. And I'm using Japan as a frame of reference just because I assume it's a big target market for this game. And Sony is a Japanese company. And I live in Japan. So there we go. So, in brief, to close out on my comments on Goonergate, do the Gooners have a little case to be upset? Yes. Is it ridiculous what they're upset about? Oh, yes. Should it stop them from enjoying the game and supporting the developers? No. Especially boycotting the game. Like, imagine if this game sells amazingly, then the developers have a little bit of clout, and then maybe they can deliver something that is more closer to what the Gooners want. You know, to boycott it and hurt the developers, to me, just doesn't seem any productive at all. Even if it was the developers who maybe promised something that they didn't deliver. I think if you extrapolate yourself from the situation a little bit, it was a business decision. They want the game to sell well. It's their first entry. I can't blame them for doing that. And I'm not a Gooner, so it doesn't really matter. I don't play this game to goon. Do I like that Eve looks really nice? Yeah, it's nice visuals. But I play this game for the gameplay, the atmosphere. And then, you know, her visuals are a little bit of a bonus, and that's about it. So that's that. I think I covered everything I wanted to say about Goonergate. If you have your own opinions about Goonergate or my take on Goonergate, please leave them in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. And yeah, also stay tuned to the channel because my voice is coming back, and I intend to continue on my Let's Play with my next video. So stay tuned. I hope to drop that within, you know, the next 24 hours. So anyway, thanks for tuning in about Meat's comments on Goonergate, and I hope that no matter where you side on the Goonergate issue, that you buy this game and enjoy it because it's an awesome game. All right, that'll do. I will see you all later.